But we'll have to see where they go because we are running into Champ Select. Our two teams, TSM and Curse. Give them a round of applause.
Straight out of the gate, the Rumble band, the Alistar band, first two coming on in. But you got to talk a little bit about the common picks for both of these two teams, and the big the big point of discussion here. There's two of them, the Corki and the Maokai. But look, there you go, Maokai Curse. They know. Ooh.
Yeah, Maokai
how
almost
rude.
Never being banned against Ottawa. I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted to see the West Rice Akali going back to the old days when West Rice, he really only played Akali, but he would go 30-0 whenever you let him have it. So, unfortunately not going to see that, but they pick up the Vladimir. That's been a contested pick. Like you said, both of these teams, they have been playing a lot of Morgana. Corki has seemed near unstoppable this tournament, and it's been really impressive. While we're looking at these picks, we're going to go ahead and take a Astro listen in, so guys, tune in for that.
Should we pick Shyvana Blitz? We like Shyvana better. Not very good. Zero Tros. We should definitely get Blitz.
Sure, okay. It too.
Oh, wait. No, I can do it. Actually, I know where we're going to Okay.
Yeah. It's just strong there.
Alright. Maybe first pick in Madonna. Let's talk about it. Andy, you're cutting on it.
Yeah,
we should have done Karthus Nocturne.
Karthus Nocturne?
Yeah, should have.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to talk about Soraka Karthus now. Oh, fuck. Can't pick Soraka.
I doubt they'll pick Soraka.
We can't even. Yeah. They won't. Okay.
You can still cut this here and be fine. TF is also low.
I'm not gonna pick TF, dude.
Alright.
TF against is not so good. It's not alright.
What?
What? Trying to know Ebola against flat.
Okay. Well, you had a little bit of a listen in there on TSM, but there's still more picks to go. There's lots of riveting stuff in there, but we got to listen in. Do you actually listen here now on Curse, see what they're thinking?
I'm not that bad with him, okay?
He's all upset.
I feel like a few weeks ago. Oh my god, Olaf sucks.
Well, no, I want to pick it because they're going to go hard CC, and I don't want them to Olaf top. That's the whole reason.
Okay,
Yeah, Dyrus' Olaf is pretty good.
That's a good idea. Good point. The heroes. Oh, it's so cold.
It's freezing.
Too bad I can't put on this sweater.
Dude, Brad, where's our Curse jackets?
They're going to put York versus Vlad. It's like a good matchup.
I can
They're
go.
gonna pick Rise, I think.
I can go flat top. It's fine. I can land against York. It's fine. It's not that bad.
Right.
TSM hears us.
Let's
get there.
Yeah, extremely excited about some of these picks. It's going to be a really exciting matchup. Interesting, St. Vicious actually grabbing that Olaf, so not going to allow Dyrus to have it. And that is going to be his common matchup against the Vladimir. Rumble, Olaf, Aurelia would be a fantastic pick for Dyrus. However, he doesn't actually play a lot of Aurelia right now. So going with that Kale pick, which we haven't seen in a while from him, but has been a fantastic pick in the past, the MLG Spring Arena or Spring Tournament coming to mind in particular with Dyrus.
But also, you look at Curse, that Morgana pick has done so well from a real huge centerpiece in a lot of Curse's team fights and just allows you to do so much stuff. And they haven't really been banned out on the Morgana all too much. But I don't know about that Rammus.
Yeah, but going with the Graves, Cop has played Graves and Corki every single match. Corki gone, Graves is perfectly fine, and the late game presence is great for Graves. They have a lot of great burst damage with the Tarek Graves combo. It's going to be extremely aggressive, but we'll have to see how they can benefit this. TSM, on the other hand, we'll see if they go with that Karthus because he's played it a couple of times so far. It's a short-range team. It could be vulnerable to that kind of pressure, particularly with the Kale matchup as well.
Particularly with the Kale matchup, and even then, you got that ult going straight on into those team fights. You're going to be invincible, and that's that's a big common thing too. You just want to have extra lives going on in if you're going to grab that Karthus, if you're going to suicide in, and it's just a matter of what else could Reggie even pick up here?
Well, he's actually been playing a number of champions this weekend. It's been
TF?
kind of impressive, that versatility. TF kind of going to be a difficult pick against Morgana and Olaf, just because of their backline penetration. That's going to make TF very vulnerable in those team fights. But we'll see. He could just throw caution to the wind. He can run it. He's been playing fantastically this weekend. But we've seen Morgana, TF, Karthus. Those have been the three main picks for Reginald right now. And having that Kale, there it is.
There it is.
Kale Karthus. So the unkillable fiend in the mid. We'll see how they can run this.
It's going to be a very, very interesting time. And you know what, that Karthus too, that's the thing too, Curse, they've been playing a lot of these games very late. They've been trying to stretch these games, try and get big, try and get huge, and just steamroll. But who gets really big, who gets really powerful as the game goes on? That is indeed Karthus. He could be a huge, huge threat here.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting match. Karthus versus Morgana as well. It's kind of a farm lane, so we'll see what Curse can do with it. Kind of surprised. There's a couple of picks that we haven't really seen this tournament that I've been expecting more of. Aurelia, I thought Aurelia was almost going to come in every single match, and we've seen some strong Aurelia play, but not that frequent. And a lot of it is just that players aren't playing her. Shyvana for St. Vicious, though. That's really the one I've been hoping for this entire tournament. Yeah. We've hardly seen it at all. I can't remember if St. Vicious ever played it once, but definitely a really strong pick for him in the past. Yes, he has actually played Shyvana once, but he will be going with that Olaf, so has that clearing speed, will be able to take control of that jungle, but the big thing is that backline penetration, getting past the CC that TSM has, particularly the Nunu ultimate, which can be such a great gap preventer for the team. And
even if you can't go through it, even if you don't want to go through it, you have the blitz, you have the pull, you're going to force someone through it, you're going to bring someone in to that whole world of pain, through that AoE, through all of that damage. It can be huge, but here we go. We got both of our teams. We got Curse, we got TSM Summoners. This is grand finals. I think we need to make them hear a little something, something.
Or not. Come on, this is serious.
Come on.
This is grand finals. Bring it up the noise. Thank you.
There you go.
And I have to say, I am completely astounded by Curse's play this weekend because for a long time, they've really struggled as a team. A lot of it goes back to the defensive nature of their team. They've been very passive in a lot of those lanes for a long time. They've been focusing on Nijaki in the mid to carry the games for them. Coffin Elements don't usually have a tendency to carry their lane, but they're usually strong enough. So far, though, this entire tournament, the past month almost of Curse, they've been looking extremely aggressive. They've been making some new changes, swapping the lanes up a lot. We've seen West versus Yorick down in the bottom lane, making some really aggressive plays. So, we'll see how Curse can carry this forward. But TSM, once again, looking extremely strong, putting themselves in a nice position to take this tournament.
Yep, and TSM just always doing what they do. Put Reggie out in front. He's the bait. Everyone else come on in, clean up. Very good job. And Karthus, we mentioned before, again, Karthus Kale. That can be absolutely huge. But we are in game number 1. And remember, TSM coming in from the winner's side, they will have a 1-game lead here. This is a best of 5. TSM needs to win 2. Curse does need to win 3 to go ahead and take it all home. And you got TSM. They're looking to mobilize here, getting some vision in mid, making sure no one goes in through the river right through that route. But TSM is going south. Curse is going north.
Yeah, really aggressive play from both teams trying to get that early invade. Both teams have a pretty strong level 1, so we'll see if either of them can take this early advantage. But TSM, it looks like they might actually be walking into him. Especially, he could get the hook if he goes for it. No! Jackie just barely out of range.
Centimeters. Missed that hook by just sheer centimeters. Oh!
Yeah, so they will be able to back off, and I'm really liking what TSM's doing with these lanes because Chaos and Special in the bottom lane,
this could be bad.
They've been phenomenal all tournament. Curse, they're looking for the engage, though. They're in a nice position here.
They got vision. Special, he could still get a hook. He could still get something. Here comes West Rice! He gets caught! He gets the pool first just to kill time. He is exhausted as well. He does use the flash as well. Elements does have the flash over the wall as well. The cleanse coming from KX. Flash over the wall. Elements is in a whole lot of trouble. He may be able to clear the gap here, though.
Yeah, and Special, he has 3 seconds left on his hook, so if he can actually cut off the angle, and he's going to do it. Special coming around the corner. Elements, he's in a really dangerous situation. They're trying to close the gap, just barely getting away.
Can't do it. Cleared too much space, and that's good on Elements too to get those boots first. Otherwise, that could have been incredibly different. But with that, though, everyone will fall back, go into their jungle, start on their path. St. Vicious starting on the Wolves. And you're going to have a little bit of a head start here opposed to Odd One, but on Nunu, you got that consume. You're going to clear a pretty decent speed yourself.
Yeah, and the odd one on Nunu, that's a huge throwback. He's been playing it a lot recently, but I remember when that was like a common game thing. Like, it was just every single game would be odd one on Nunu, and the old counter jungling with Nunu used to be fantastic. Like, you just absolutely wreck people's days. You run in, you steal the red buff, you drop wards in their jungle, you just constantly abuse them. But Curse actually going for that swap, and we have seen it from them in the past. A lot of teams actually going for that aggressive pushing now, so it should be an interesting matchup. Kale versus Vladimir, not the best matchup for West Rice, and it will be a struggle. So instead, Curse is going for the early pushing, and Graves can easily outpush Corky.
But these are also two solo champs here who can pretty decently farm away from a distance. You do got Vlad; he's going to be fine, just killing those creeps underneath the tower. Dyrus, he's got the fury. He can go ahead and do the same as well. It's just a matter of remember, Vlad, he is a manaless champ. He can still stay. He can stick around for a little while longer than Dyrus can, because remember, in order to get that ranged up farm, Dyrus, he does have to use a little bit of mana to do it.
Yeah, and the thing to consider for Dyrus is that even with that range, he's actually very short range, so it's going to leave him very vulnerable to that Taric stun. Elements taunting him up in the brush, just not letting him alone. But we'll see after a couple of levels how Curse tries to amp up that aggression. But in the meantime, this is actually going to result in a fairly passive game early on. It's going to allow for some really aggressive pushing, but it tends to work for passive play, and that's actually the best opportunity for Curse, because West Rice, a lot of times in the top lane, he tends to be a very safe laner, and he's been working on just being extremely passive, not giving up any early advantages to the team. So you very rarely see West Rice losing an early lead for his team. However, he also doesn't abuse lane. So in that situation, he can control the 1v2 lane. He will be very safe there, but his team can still take advantages and pressure that top.
And also keep in mind, West Rice, he did go for the heal, for the flash. Granted, yeah, he used them in that level 1 fight, but as soon as they come up, and it's fine. He'll be able to stick around the lane a little bit longer than usual as well. But for now, though, he's just going to have to go ahead and take with what he's given. He's going to be farming a little bit under tower, and you also got Odd One making a little bit of an appearance there top lane, just trying to dissuade Cop just a little bit.
Yeah, and the big concern for Curse is to keep up Vladimir's farm. West Rice right now only at 8 CS, so really being denied hard by TSM. It is pushing under his tower, so he's going to catch up a little bit here. And as the game progresses, Vladimir's using a good farm, but actually the hook not quite hitting, and actually Saint Vicious coming down into the bottom lane wants to keep an eye on West Rice, make sure that he's not having that difficult of a time.
I think TSM just got a hair of vision on Saint, so just appropriately going to go ahead and back off, realize that he's still in the area. You don't want to go do really anything too risky, but there is a ward there in the tri-brush from TSM down bot, so if he does decide to come around, do something crazy, they'll know about it.
Yeah, and Odd One walking down, going for those wolves. They actually do just respawn, so he's catching up to it. But actually, in the meantime, Saint Vicious is walking up to him. He gets the quick smite consume. He gets out of there. That cheeky little guy, he's going to back out. And Saint Vicious, he's going to have his own wolves to himself.
Yep. Well, one less.
One less, of course.
One less, of course. I mean, that is what Nunu does, though. And with his recent changes, back to what he used to be, you can go in and he can just snack on the Blue Wraith straight out. Just take it right in.
Yeah, with the consume nerfs a while back, you don't quite get enough damage to be quite as aggressive as you used to be, but it's still very strong for that counter jungling control. In the meantime, Saint Vicious, he is making his way up into the top lane. He does spot out Odd One, so they will be safe here. Morgana started making her way up top, but then backing down into the lane, so wants to push into Karthus' tower a little bit and deny some of that farm.
Yeah, Jackie recognizing that Reggie did back, decided, I'm going to do a little bit of roaming, going to see what I can get, but Reggie will be coming back in the lane, did buy, you got the crystals there, going to wait to get that catalyst. Not quite there yet, but for now, going to have a little bit more health, a little bit more mana, can go ahead and continue that farm. But Night Jackie, he's not quite going to be leaving just yet.
Yeah, so we'll see how they can continue this. I'm really kind of curious how Saint is going to continue to build, because he's actually going for that support build, which is very common in the top lane. It means that they're not going to quite have the same jungling speed if he had gone for a little bit more DPS or a snowball build, but it's definitely a very safe build. He's incredibly powerful on Olaf. He's going to be able to get that Shurelya's, get the Randuins, be very tanky later on in the game. He already has enough damage output, so the key is getting the AoE from West Rice for that sustained damage. Their mid-game team fights are going to be phenomenal with Morgana, and that's what we've seen a number of times. Morgana kind of falling out of play for a while, but her early game control is still very strong. And
the Morgana fits really well with what Curse is trying to accomplish. They want to bring things late, and you see those super late team fights, 5-on-5. Everyone's in just a gigantic mess. And Morgana, she can really capitalize on it. You get that flash, you get that soul shackles, you get everything you need to just keep everyone still and get all the damage you want. You did see earlier, though, you did see Saint Vicious make a little bit of an appearance down bot lane, but that ward did spot him out. But unfortunately now, TSM The wards have expired. They no longer have any coverage down bot lane, so they may want to go ahead back and do it. Blitz still has a ward to him, but he's coming on back. Westrice straight up with the ult down onto Chaos. He's going to burn. 150 health about, so he's going to go ahead and back, recover, and come back. Westrice is going to push that wave to the tower.
Yeah, but the big thing, even if he's not able to pick up the kill, it allows Westrice to farm a little bit. So he's going to be pretty safe there. Harassing down Xpecial as well, being extremely aggressive in that bottom lane. He needs to catch up. We'll see if he actually goes for like a gold pretend build or something. Having that Dorans will definitely help him a little bit in that bottom lane though. And Morgana is going to pick up that blue. Reginald should be fine though with the Wall of Pain. It's extremely difficult for Morgana to pressure him at all. So we'll see. That's primarily going to be a farm lane. Reginald, he's walking over to grab his blue as well. So we'll see how they transition out of this.
And you look at Reggie, you see that AoE clear. He'd be able to push that wave very effectively right into Nijaki. Morgana, granted, the pool is also a very good wave clearing tool as well, but Reggie, he's got a little bit bigger range on it, going to be a little bit more damage on that as well, so he's going to be slightly more effective. But remember also, you do have the Wraiths there on both sides of the river. Both of our AP mids can go ahead, grab those real quick, and return right back, just go back to farming.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of interesting. We haven't seen Graves and Tarek pushing that top lane very aggressively. They have a little bit of harass on the turret, but for the most part, they're just looking to farm. As a result, Corki and Blitz, they're actually getting a little bit more damage. Kale can clear the waves a little bit. Graves does have to watch out that if he's attacking the turret, because Graves' attack range is actually very similar to Kale's. They're both extremely low. I think Kale is 500, Graves is 525. That's allowing Dyrus to kind of stall off that push a little bit so they can, counter that out some. But in the meantime, TSM is aggressively pushing down that bottom lane. If they can take an early turret advantage, it could help them snowball around the map.
The next time Westrice leaves bot lane, that turret may very well go down to all this pressure. He did go back, did get that Doran shield, and did get a tome, so he's going to have a little bit more armor, a little bit more health, and he's got that regen. He just wants to stick around as long as he can because he's only really going to get one more shot at this.
Yeah, so we'll see how they transition out of this. Odd One, in the meantime, going to be going for those for that red buff. They're going to be fine. Not a lot of pressure in either of the lanes. That's the thing with the lane swaps. You get some early towers down, which helps snowball the lane, the game. However, it does tend to result in passive play for the first couple levels. You don't usually expect to see a number of kills. Odd One is sitting up top, though. He wants to defend against that tower dive if there is that pressure against Kale. Kale should generally be pretty safe against it, but he's actually just going to walk into the lane, steal some minions himself. So he's once that level up, he's going to steal some from Kale.
But remember, Dyrus has not backed yet. He's going to have a good chunk of change to actually go back and shop with. Odd One could actually stick around, play guardsman, and just wait for Dyrus to actually get back with his boatload of goodies here. Westrice is getting a little bit of extra damage here onto Chaos, and he's a little bit more confident to farm here. He's gained a few more levels. He's leveled up his skills. He's getting a little bit more regen. But remember, Xpecial laying in wait. That hook could be devastating.
Yeah, he's falling behind on farm, but not that far behind. He's able to keep himself in this game, and that pressure against Gax is starting to be pretty strong.
Saint Vicious snuck his way down into the bot brush there. He does have an Oracle's. That bush is clear. He was not spotted. TSM, they have no idea at the moment.
Yeah, so he's kind of just waiting off to prevent some of that pressure from TSM if they decide to go for a gank or if they decide to jump onto Westrice. It's going to be kind of a difficult opportunity for him to push off a gank here. So he should be generally pretty safe. It's kind of just wasting St. Vicious's time. It allows Odd One to roam around the map a little bit more, but we'll see where they go from that. The big thing is, all the lanes are very safe for both teams right now, and neither jungler, particularly effective at those early ganks. Olaf can do some tower diving once he gets some levels, but because of the 1v2 matchups, there's not a lot of opportunities there.
Nijaki throwing down the shield, trying to see if he can't force something out of Reggie, but still though, push into tower, just keeping that pressure on. And also you do see Jackie did go back, did get those magic pen boots and the ring, a little bit extra health, a little bit extra damage, and he got that regen as well. Karthus did actually go back and finish the catalyst, but Westrice here he was thinking about going back, but remembering is like, oh yeah, if I leave, my tower's pretty much gone.
Yeah, and that's going to give him some nice early game pressure, be able to win those team fights. In the meantime, St. Vicious is making his way down in the bottom lane. He has the red buff, and they're actually forcing it. The cleave onto KX. He's going to back out of it, but there's the hook. Westrice just barely avoiding that, so they will be safe.
That could have gone a lot worse. That hook, that's the thing. That's a big main fear going up against a Blitzcrank. Just one errant hook, just one awesome skill shot can just change team fights completely.
Yeah, so
completely.
we'll see how they can transition out of here. In the meantime, Graves has been left alone top. It will be a pretty even matchup against Kale. Kale has a slight advantage because of the level experience, but Graves is the easiest champion at controlling the lane with the armor, with the AoE that he has. So Tarek, he can roam a little bit, and we've seen a lot of elements roaming in the past. It's been a while, but always a pleasure to see it come back into play. Alistar as well. Before Alistar became such a popular jungler, we used to see a lot of that elements.
And I think if Tarek is a great champ to roam with as well. I mean, it's a support with a stun, period. That's really all you need to know. Cop, he's apprehensive. He's like, something's up here. Something's not quite right. Should I go for his last hit? Yes, I will. Big mistake. Come into the slow. Double slow. Odd one does use the flash. Successful gank.
Yeah, so he's able to back out of it, but the flash is down. It will prevent some of that aggression onto Dyrus. So TSM doing a really nice job controlling this so far. They are 500 gold ahead, not really significant right now. So we'll see how they can transition out of it. St. Vicious, in the meantime, coming over for the blue, checking it. He sees that it's not up, but he will have that vision of it, and it should be up shortly.
And this is a really common theme, too, for Curse, actually, over these past few games. Just very low kill games, very slow start games. We're on the 13th minute. We still even have had no kills, no first blood, nothing quite yet. But you do have the Karthus ult coming on down, front-loading the damage here. You see 3 members of Curse looking to go for that Dragon. Chaos getting a little bit of poke damage on. West Rice cannot connect with any extra damage, and everyone's off Dragon.
Yeah, and they didn't really have the follow-up to take them down, but the Karthus ultimate, Curse was a little bit scared right now. They didn't want to give up any early advantages to TSM, so they're going to back off. West Rice, he's starting to pick up his farm a little bit. Special coming in, though. He hits a minion, so missing the hook as well, and West Rice turning it around, gets off some great harass against them in the bottom.
Double fail that time. It's like, oh, I'm so mad I can't close that gap. Minion.
Yeah, and so Reginald going to be picking up the blue. We'll see if those minions give Special any more trouble. But he's been fantastic so far this tournament, but needs that AoE. The Star Call on Soraka, it doesn't miss. The Blitzcrank hooks, they do. So we'll see, where you can go from there. Corki, in the meantime, going for that aggressive Trinity Force build, which we've seen, generally speaking, in most of the Corki play. It will give them a lot of burst damage. They already have a lot of sustained damage with Kale and with Karthus, so that's going to be really nice to pick up some kills. But we'll see, how quickly Cop can farm. He's at 130 CS right now, 14 minutes in, so he's going to get some nice quick items. If he can get like a 20-minute Infinity Edge, that could be really strong for Curse.
It's a pretty good benchmark. I mean, like Infinity Edge by 20 minutes is, it's a proof positive that you're doing okay. You're doing your job.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic if you can hit it by 20.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Reggie did have the blue buff, was using that to farm in mid, and I believe Nine Jackie actually got his team's blue buff as well. Yes, he did. So a little bit extra farm time there in the mid for our APs. You got those pulls, you got that AoE clear, should be fine, and should be, well, a little bit boring, but it's okay. We'll come back to that. They're getting their farm. They're going to be huge, and they're going to be doing a lot of damage later on.
Yeah, and some really safe items going off all around them. Karthus with that Rod of Ages, it's been a really common build, particularly with Reginald. He's farming excellently right now, 164 CS. They're doing a really nice job. But Odd One going with the triple gold for 10. The General looking for that ward spam, and in the meantime, they're pressuring this Dragon. Actually, the wall from Reginald going to be able to zone that off for a bit. They're actually going to be able to kill this extremely quickly before Curse can react.
Reggie did use the ult earlier to front load the damage during the last attempt here from Curse, but with all that damage, there's going to be more enough, and West Race does get pulled. Deja Vu, kind of like that level 1, does use the pull right on in, but Night Jackie right out in front does use the ult. Special is going to get stunned. It's like damage going down, but you got Exhaust going down. Night Jackie's trying to get away. You have the layways, you have the AoE coming on down, and there you go. There's the first blood. Reggie going to get the credit for that, but West Rice is still in trouble.
Yeah, and Reginald trying to chase him down. There's the kill, the double kill on the Reginald. TSM taking an early lead. 3K gold all of a sudden, 2.5 after the Dragon and the double kill. And the big thing was Curse was trying to defend when the fight was already lost. The hook back, the silence from Mixed Special. They're able to get some quick damage onto Vladimir. In the meantime, Odd One and Chaos, they're actually going to back off, but that turret is very close to going down. And the big thing is they recognize it's going to go down by itself, but it denies a couple more minions, a couple more hits. St. Vicious not going to make it in time. Yes, they do get the turret, and now they can transition into some other lanes, try and pressure around the map, or do a lane swap.
Yep, and after that series of events too, all of a sudden mid lane just got a little bit more difficult for Night Jackie, because remember, both of those kills went onto Reggie, kills about 20 creeps each. Rough equivalent value, so that puts them very far ahead. And you also noticed before, Night Jackie did have a needlessly large draw before. It's like, I'm not quite sure. Where am I going to build with this? Do I want to get Red? Do I want to go ahead and get the Death Cap? Want to get the Zonias? Losing that fight is like, okay, I'm going to need the Zonias later on.
And Reginald, as always, putting on a clinic in CS, 184, 16 minutes in. His Karthus, he always farms particularly well, grabbing those race. The pushing capabilities are definitely very nice. In the meantime, there are 3 members sitting up top, waiting for the kill onto Curse if they can get the advantage.
They're not quite sure what's going on. And Curse are trying to get the pressure into stun coming down onto Dyrus, but they're going to flash away special, trying to get what he can. Here comes the Karthus ult as well. Will he be able to pick another one? Yes, he will. Reggie going to grab the credit for that one all the way from mid.
Yeah, putting some early pressure on the Curse, and they're not responding effectively. TSM is definitely pressuring the objectives on this map. Their mid game, if they can continue farming like this, will be very strong. But their late game with the Karthus and the Corki will be phenomenal. We've seen KX throughout this entire tournament how impressive his Corki has been. And if there has to be an MVP for the tournament, he's very close to being it.
Yep, I mean Corki just on its own has had a massive win rate just throughout the entire weekend, and a lot of credit to just fantastic play. But Chaos is a beast. We've seen it before. Binding going down onto Reggie. Just a little bit extra harass, but St. Vicious trying to get the axe. Not going to be getting a whole lot with that, but Chaos, he can get some free harass while everyone's retreating on back to the tower. But there's still a 3-man push top here from TSM, but West Rice, that does give him an opportunity to free farm just a little bit, push bot wave 2 tower, and get all that denied.
Yeah, and that just shows how ridiculously strong the Wall of Pain is for Karthus. And the slow is so strong. The tower is very close to going down. Cop and St. Vicious trying to ward this off. Nijaki is there as well, but they're actually going to be able to turn into it. But they are baiting. They want Tarek. They want Morgana to get in range. Odd one being chased down. The axe not hitting for Olaf.
Kill.
And there's the Kale ultimate trying to defend against some of that damage. But Nijaki, he does, no, just barely not hitting the bind. So we'll be safe.
Once again, just barely missing by mere centimeters. So now you got a 4-man push in response here from Curse up top lane. Reggie, though, in the mid, he needs to go ahead and clear out those minions. He can do some damage to the mid turret just on his own. West Rice, he's looking, he's actually going for the small golems, I think. He's just like, you know what, bot tower, we got a massive wave. That's fine. KX, you can go ahead and take care of that.
Yeah, so Curse doing a nice job keeping themselves in it. It is a 3K, actually 4K gold advantage for TSM still. But the big issue for Curse is going to be the fact that they have a very short-range team. Morgana needs to engage into the middle of the team. Graves is very short-range. Olaf, he wants to get in the back line. Olaf in particular will be very strong at trying to take down Karthus. However, Reginald's AoE, if he continues farming the way he has been, 3-0 right now, 220 CS, he's almost at 8,000 gold before the 20-minute mark. So he's ridiculously strong right now. And they're all this short-range team for Curse, they're going to be walking right into the Wall of Pain. They're going to be walking right into his AoE, and he could try and shut them down. But Curse, they do have some nice burst damage. Their AoE with the Karthus, with the Morgana, is phenomenal if they can get the right engages.
Yeah, but also not to mention, Nijaki did finish the Zonias, does have it, so that can be a huge boost to all that initiation. Just flash right in, get that ult, pop the Zonias, and you can be safe. You can get all those stuns. You can get everything you want, but got to talk about Reggie, because you just got to hammer that point home. You're looking pretty good when all the kills in the game are yours.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be a nice situation. Chaos as well is looking pretty strong, but needs to finish up some of those items. We'll see how Curse can progress this. They are starting to get some items onto West Rice, which is huge. He has that Hextech revolver. He's going with that Negatron cloak. So we'll see if he gets that into an Abyssal Scepter, because that could really help his team out a lot. But having the Zonias onto Morgana will allow Nijaki to be extremely aggressive early on, and we've seen how powerful Nijaki's Morgana has been. Morgana and Vigar really in the past have been kind of interchangeable for Nijaki, but it depends on what kind of a comp you're looking for. If you're looking for the hard engage and Morgana has that fantastic CC, then but also providing the shield for Graves could be really strong for Curse, because he needs to protect Graves from all of that AoE damage that TSM will provide.
Yeah. And the Abyssal will be coming in pretty soon for West Rice. Did get the wand, but he also looked cooldown boots down onto St. Vicious, so he's looking for those reckless swings. He wants the true damage in every single one of these fights. Also got Cop, did finish that finish.
Just moving down into the bottom lane. Chaos actually doesn't have enough mana. He does have his flash though, so he's trying to get to the wall, but Cop bursting him down very quickly. Has the ultimate, will pick up the kill.
I don't even think he needed the ultimate. I think he just did that for style points.
Oh, yeah, it's always going to look good. Throwing off the buckshot. I enjoy it. It's the Johnny Cash of champions, but they'll be able to transition over. And actually, TSM has to back off for a second. It is about time for that dragon, so we'll see if Curse can get this.
Yeah, of course, they're looking to, they want to have their advantage. They can have a man advantage right here, and they're looking to take it down very quickly, but you do have TSM. I think they're backing off this. I don't think they're really going to try and fight this one. They're just going to let Curse have it. And right there, X-Special is in defensive, though, right at their own blue buff, waiting to see. He's being awarded as he's recalling just to make sure that Curse isn't actually going to be going around the long way and trying to get a jump on anyone there from TSM. But Reggie's still in the mid, still looking to farm. You got Darius not too far behind either. He cannot get that slow on the Jackie. Does get caught in the binding. A lot of damage actually going on Reggie, but St. Vicious, he is out in front. He is caught out just a little bit. The snowball also coming in. He will be slowed, but will actually get behind Darius. But here comes the ult from Reggie. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, very low, but now TSM, as a result, they're going to be able to take down that mid inhibitor, or I'm sorry, mid turret.
Mid turret.
Dear God,
mid
21-minute inhibitor.
Well, it has happened. It has happened so far this turn, yeah.
But we will see them grab that, be able to continue pressuring the map. In the meantime, Kaox is doing swimmingly in the bottom lane. Graves as well. Cop has been able to farm up against him. He has that Infinity Edge. That's going to be very strong, and that's going to open up some opportunities for Curse. But the issue is that Cop, he's going to need to be in the front line in order to be dealing some of this damage, particularly to the carries like Graves, or sorry, like Corky or like Karthus, and that's going to put him right in that kill zone for Special to grab a hook or for Reginald to take him down.
Also notice the West Rice has actually taken a lot of opportunities to go ahead, find isolated lanes, grab the farm where it can, and just try and keep up in the farm, in the gold, so he can go ahead and itemize. Because remember, that Abyssal Scepter is not just for him, it's for the entire team. Everyone can benefit from that and all that magic resist shred.
Yeah, despite the early disadvantages against that Corky, it was a difficult lane for him. He's at 165 CS right now, so doing a nice job.
Yeah.
We'll see how he can continue to transition out of this. Curse, their AoE is phenomenal if they hit the right ultimates. Graves is just such an aggressive champion, but we'll see. They're kind of sitting back right now. They want to wait for their opportunities. The big thing is they can't push in on TSM because Graves is too short of an attack range. So TSM can always stall against pushes. They can maybe get a Blitzcrank hook and put Curse in a really dangerous situation. So Curse, they need to sit back and farm, wait until they're strong enough to pressure some objectives, wait for Dragon to respawn in another 4 minutes, and then also wait for the Baron to come up, and once they're strong enough where they can start pressuring it.
But that's a danger, though. The longer you sitting around and farm, you're also letting the other team get farm. And we mentioned this before in champs, like Karthus is a champ with a lot of farm as the game goes on, just gets even stronger and stronger and stronger. He's already got his Rod of Ages, he's got his Death Cap, he's got another wand, too. He can just build that into whatever.
Yeah, but TSM, they are going with that double Aegis build, so that's going to help counter out some of that AoE. In the meantime, Curse, they're pressuring down the mid turret, but Reginald is back. He's going to stop that off, so no big deal there. Special, kind of holding the front line, wants to make sure he can grab someone if he can, but they will back off. Kale, on the other hand, Dyrus, he's been farming very well himself. And the big issue with AD Kale, it's been seeing a lot of play, for the past couple months, but actually dropped out after that MLG Spring Championship that we saw it in a lot. And the big thing is you generally use it to counter a lane, and then you use it, you have some nice damage in team fights. It's kind of a double AD, but in the meantime, TSM, they have Vladimir trapped in the top lane. West Rice trying to retreat. The big issue with Kale has been his short attack range, but having Karthus and Corky, they're both really formidable foes, so there's not really an opportunity for Curse to try and focus down Kale because they have to deal with the better carries for TSM. And
also, Reggie charging straight on into these fights with the ult on top of him. Really goes into rain and game plan. Here we go, Night Jacket with the flash. He's got the shield on as well. Zonia's being caught there, trying to get someone with the ult. He's going to get 2 stuns off of that one. Odd one right there in front with the ult, trying to get wherever he can, but Reggie does go down, but it's okay. He still has the ult available coming on down. How many he's going to be able to get? Kaox also putting down some damage there. West Rice may get caught out here. The snowball going to keep him slowed, and there you go. Nice kill for Kaox. Double kill for his credit. 2 for 3.
Yeah, and really impressive play by Reginald in particular. The entire team was able to kite out some of that damage, but Reginald in the beginning of that fight, he's actually flashing right into the back of Curse, was able to throw off that pressure. And the big thing is he completely zoned Graves. As a result, TSM is going to be able to press down on this mid turret. We'll see where they go after this, but they're going to be able to go back and buy. They're going to be extremely strong. And if we actually go to an instant replay, we can take a look at that again right at the beginning of the fight. Reginald getting onto the back line. And so Cop was completely shut down. The wall of pain was able to shut him off. Nunu with the slow as well. With the Kale ultimate, Reginald just completely shut him out. As a result, the rest of his team, they were able to kite away from Curse. Kaox getting the Valkyrie out of there, and very easily they were able to protect themselves. So the big thing is 80 for AD. That's always going to be a win for TSM.
And that's the dangerous thing too with Reggie onto Karthus, that he really doesn't care if he dies. He really doesn't, because he knows he's going to get at least 1 kill. At least he knows he's going to go even.
Yeah, so really nice play. And that Kale Karthus combo is very strong.
Yes.
Nine Jackie going to be picking up his blue, but we'll see how TSM can start to pressure this game. They are 5K ahead right now, and with the double AD and with Karthus as well, they actually have a lot of really nice Baron damage. The concern though is Curse. They're still really strong in the mid game. They're strong as later in the game too. Graves and Vladimir both scale very well, but the concern for TSM is if they try and pressure a Baron, then it leaves them vulnerable. They're going to be sitting in the brush. They're going to be in poor positioning to deal with Curse.
And also you got St. Vicious, he's down bot lane and trying to get in front of him, but recognizing that you got someone missing, someone's not with the team, TSM, there's going to go ahead and push right up the mid. And it's going to take a little bit of time for the Olaf to actually regain with the rest of the team. Now just recalls, but TSM, they're actually moving on back. You do have the Oracles onto Odd One. Are they going to go for it? I think they may also just be looking to force a fight here. They're thinking about it.
Yeah, it seems like they're maybe trying to bait it out. And if Reginald, this is a perfect opportunity for Reginald to get in the middle of the team. There's a ward over the wall from Elements and Curse. They definitely don't want to walk into a full AoE from Karthus. So it opens up opportunities for TSM. X Special actually kind of running out in the open, wants to be able to grab someone. Curse generally playing very safe right now, and they have perfect positioning. They're all very split. The hook, but Elements gets out of there.
That was a perfect wall to try and get a grab off of anybody, but unfortunately Special just could not connect with the rest of it. But you also saw that was actually a good guess earlier from Night Jackie on the blind bind going in onto the bush. Actually almost caught X Special there, but unfortunately did not land it. But with this though, Curse, they're still trying to get some position in this fight. Reggie out in front once again. You have the Wall of Pain, you have AoE. St. Vicious is a little bit separated from the team. He's taking some 3 layways, but you got X Special still fearless, charging out ahead. Elements, he wants to stun on somebody. Anybody. Hook going down onto West Rice. He's going to pull pretty soon, pretty immediately. You got Cop trying to deal whatever damage he can. St. Vicious in the middle of all these fights. X Special will actually go down pretty quick. Reggie with the AoE though, doing quite a bit of damage. Nunabolt coming on in. I know she's going to be doing a whole lot. Double kill coming on in for the Corki. Cop is in a full retreat, runs through the Wall of Pain. Here comes the Karthus ult, going to be doing quite a bit, and there you go. You got the kill on that. That is 4 for 2 for TSM.
Yeah, really impressive play from TSM, and the big thing for them is Curse. They're splitting out, so their positioning is phenomenal coming into the fights. However, TSM, they recognize that Curse is splitting. They don't want to get hit by that Reginald AoE, and so TSM just presses them, and by continuing to pressure into them, they actually force Curse to split even further, but they are going for this Baron. Odd One will be able to tank this, so he's going to get pretty low, but I think they have enough. He's actually dropping a little bit faster than I expected.
Well, yeah, you have the Consume, that's a heal. You got the heal on Kale, that's a little bit extra layer on that. You got KX with a ton of damage, just a matter of can you just actually take the thing out before it takes you out. Dyer's going to take just a little bit. There you go. Nom it up. TSM grabbing the Baron. Reggie doesn't have it though, but it's fine. He's got a lot of damage on his own.
Yeah, and again, the big thing with that previous fight, TSM, by running at Curse was split up, trying to avoid that AoE. It forced Curse to actually split down the lane. They're split half of them down the river, half of them down the other side of the wall, and so it opens up an opportunity for TSM to fight them 2v5 or 3v5, and that opened up opportunities for Chaos in the back to be perfectly safe. There was no pressure from Curse onto him, particularly that Olaf.
Yeah. But despite being down, Curse is still itemizing very well. You got the Wood being built there onto West Rice, and you got a little bit of progress there on Cop as well. He's got his Phantom Dancer now too, so he's going to be doing quite a bit more damage. Night Jackie working for the death cap, doesn't quite have it yet though, but you can only do so much. You have to defend when you have a team like TSM pushing with the Baron buff.
Yeah, and they are going to be pursuing this mid lane. This snare from Night Jackie actually not going to hit. Not a lot of follow-up on it, but we'll see how they can pressure this. The Will of the Ancients onto Reginald. He's incredibly strong at this point in time. He's going to be difficult for Curse to take down. They don't have the Soraka to follow up, which is the Maokai, which is something we've seen a lot from their Karthus play. But the Kale will be fantastic. That Kale ultimate, we've seen it so far this game. It makes things very difficult for Curse.
Yep, and you also have Chaos does have the Negatron Cloak, which will more likely be built into the QSS, which is going to make him that more survivable in these fights. It's like, I'm stunned? No, not anymore. Not anymore. I'm not. I'm just going to go ahead and keep on doing all the damage I want.
Yeah, and Reginald going to be grabbing another dragon for his team, so he can back off, go into that bottom lane, get him some momentum, actually just regrouping with his team. So he builds on their gold lead. 9K right now, they're really pressuring Curse at the moment, and they will be able to push in on this mid lane. Corki, with the range that he has, he should be pretty safe to poke down the turret a little bit. He just has to watch out for those Morgana Vines.
There you go. Morgana Vine actually over the wall onto X Special, but can't do a whole lot with it. You still have about 2 more minutes left onto that Baron buff. So there's still opportunities here. There's still still objectives to push down. You do have this bot tier 2. Reggie is actually laying in wait right there in that brush, waiting for the rest of the team to come on in. Who's going to take it? Odd One right out in front. There's Curse. They can't do a whole lot. Nice wall of pain, actually stretching the entire width of the lane. This is the line. You do not cross this line, otherwise you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, and TSM getting some fantastic poke on that turret. Curse not really in position to defend it. They will be this time, though, but we'll see. The regen for TSM from that Baron, it will allow them to wear him down some. Especially he can just throw off those tosses throughout the game, try and get a hook.
Especially he is once again bound right there in the brush. He can still get that pull. He can still get something running out in front. He's going to try and surpass the mini wave. No, he will not. Just take that thing out, and the push can continue. There's still a good minute left on that Baron buff too, so you can definitely muscle at least a tier 3 here.
Yeah, the big concern is that they would have to walk into the AoE for Curse, and they don't want to open up any opportunities because they consider their late game to be so strong, particularly since they know they can shut down Graves and have been doing a fantastic job of that so far. But Graves is incredibly powerful, so if Cop can stay in the back line and not go down to that Reginald pressure, they should be able to force that.
Well, that's a lot of pressure coming from Reggie, though, because you know he's just going to flash right in towards the back line with the Kale ult already preloaded onto him. He has an objective, and he's going to get it. He doesn't care if he dies or not. He has a target, and he's going to kill.
Yeah, and so TSM, by pushing lanes constantly, they're forcing Curse to miss out on some of that farm. They're putting them further behind, but it also opens up opportunities. X-Special maybe looking for that grab over the wall. The bind from Nijaki, he's going to spot him out in the meantime. But there's the horn. He's trying to pursue it, the wall from Reginald, and now they can transition back and forth between the lanes, pull Curse out of position, try and get some kills.
Actually, a really good positioning on X-Special, too. He's being the sacrificial robot there. He's like, no, I'm going to take the binds for the rest of my team. Step up, be an automaton.
Yeah, and TSM is actually zoned Curse off of that top turret. So Curse coming out to defend it for a second. By TSM running down the lane towards the mid, it forced Curse back into their base. They were able to zone them out. So another outer turret for TSM. They are pressed up to the base. We'll see what they can do with this, but there's a lot of gold for them to spend. So they want to make sure they get those items before this next fight. All of them sitting around 1,500. So we'll see what they can do with that, but it's going to be very difficult for Curse to defend.
The Baron buff is also now gone. It has expired. The Baron should respawn in about 2.5 minutes here. So it's just a matter of keeping the lanes pushed, keeping the pressure on, so that way when the Baron does respawn, they're going to have that much of an easier time to do it. And even then, the last time, it was pretty easy. Just Nunu just snack on it, just gnawing on it, just that now combination with the Karthus right there in the middle of the pit should be even easier this time around.
Yeah, no, their Baron control is fantastic, but both teams have very strong Baron control. So if Curse is able to win one fight, that could be a huge turnaround for them. Very instantly, they could push it back onto TSM, particularly once that Baron comes up. So TSM recognizes that they need to be pretty safe, but having the Wall of Pain with the Nunu ultimate as well, it's that double slow that just controls the front line. It's going to make it very difficult for Cop to get in on those fights once again, and he's just going to be walking into this unstoppable wall he just can't get past. But we'll see, whether or not they can force an engage. The big thing right now is, though, keeping all the lanes pushed for Curse. And so St. Vicious coming down in the bottom lane. By doing that, they pick up some farm, but it also slows down TSM. It doesn't allow them to quite pressure their base as much.
I also like what Odd One's doing, too. He bought the Zeke's Herald, which, if I remember correctly, Nunu with Zeke's Herald is actually something a lot of Curse EU has been doing to try and keep their AD carry really buff. So TSM kind of taking a little bit of a play from their opponent's playbook and utilizing here in this situation.
Yeah, it's really nice with the double AD comp with both Chaox and Dyrus. They're both going to benefit from it in a very strong way. Odd One, he has the Oracles. They've been able to zone them off, and they are waiting for that Baron to respawn. Curse, in the meantime, still sitting in that base. We'll see how they can defend this. St. Vicious, for his team, he's starting to get tanky. I mean, he has that Aegis for a while. He has the cooldown reduction. Once he can finish the Randuins, he might be able to dive into TSM, but the concern is that TSM has so much damage. It's a nice mix of damage, too. Corki, that's one of the big strengths. You have the true damage and the magic damage, so you can just tear Olaf apart, and that's going to make things very difficult for them to pressure that back line.
TSM recognizing they're a little bit early to the Baron party, and also realizing that mid's actually being pushed pretty hard. So Reggie goes back, decides to buy just a little bit. He does have the Void Staff now, in addition to everything else on this kit. That is a lot of spell pen, but they have to deflect this push in mid somehow, because if TSM decides to go get Baron, they may lose a tower or two, and granted they're still going to come out ahead, but they just wanted to go ahead and keep as much of their base intact.
Yeah, and Curse right now, they know that their late game is very strong if they can protect their AD carry and if Olaf is strong enough to dive into the back line. So right now, for the most part, they're trying to force, not allow this engage. Reginald actually getting off the wall, but there's the bind, and actually the hook not going to hit for X Special. So Curse dodging a bullet. They will be able to back off, and the big thing is Curse, they need to be the initiators. They need to force a fight with Morgana and try and clear it up. By putting on the pressure on the TSM, they can keep Cop alive because TSM will be on the defensive. They start pushing down that mid lane. TSM, it pulls them away from that Baron, but they will be able to defend it.
Yep. And so now TSM, they're biding their time to trying to lure Curse on in. There you go, the pull down onto St. Vicious in the middle of everything. And Reggie is going to be no big problem at all. You do have the Morgana coming in, he zones Argos as well, but Reggie will can actually 2v1, 3v1 with a kill ult already on him. KX grabbing a kill down onto Morgana. Elements is in retreat. Oddman going to plug him down, but Cop getting killed over the wall. The Karthus does go down, but you do have the ult coming on in.
Yeah,
double kill.
Down. Everyone is down for Curse. That is a 4-for-5 ace for TSM. They can pressure this inhibitor, and the bot is, or the top, it is pushed very aggressively.
You already got the
creep. Going to be able to move in there. That's going to be an inhibitor down for them.
You already got the creep support. Tower, top, tier 3 going to be going down. Inhib going to go down. They've got plenty of time. St. Vicious is going to be back in 15 seconds. The rest of the team, you have 15 more seconds on top of that. This may actually be it. If TSM can pressure this down, they're going for those Nexus turrets straight on in. The one's already down. They can get another. I think they can just be looking to rush this Nexus here. Tier 2, all the towers down in the Nexus again. They should be able to grab this, and there you go. First game, TSM grabbing it. They just need one more. If they can get one more, they will be IPL face-off champs.
Yeah, and get that $20,000 prize. Everyone is going crazy. TSM with some really nice play, and that last fight was particularly strong for them. They had some really nice control. Their team comp was perfectly designed to take out Curse. And actually,
let's go back real quick.
We'll be able to take a look back at that right now. You see your two teams, though, Curse and TSM. Curse trying to think about how they're going to handle that TSM pressure, but Reginald's Karthus has been phenomenal. So as we take a look back at that last fight, it all started St. Vicious getting caught off by X Special, the ward in the bush, and then Reginald once again controlling the fight. He flashes in the backline, shuts down Cop, and Valkyrie from Chaos is able to protect him from Nijaki. So Nijaki all alone, but in the meantime, Reginald soloing the rest of Curse. Westrice will be able to take him down, but still, Reginald, the damage was done. He was able to shut down Graves, and that was the concern the entire time. As we check out the teams, check out TSM, how they're looking right now, because they've been very strong in this game, and I'm not sure how Curse is going to be able to handle that Karthus.
Well, I think I can think of one way. To ban them out.
Oh, that's definitely true. Always an option, but we'll have to see how they're going to handle it. There are a number of strong picks, and the big thing is if they ban out Karthus, they're going to have to deal with something like a TF. They're maybe going to allow one of those stronger picks onto, like Olaf or something, onto TSM, and then TSM can continue to control the game. In the meantime, Reginald handing out some soft drinks, getting him back to his team. He's getting everyone hydrated. Mr. AJ Mazur, we have a game, though. There's game number 1 going to TSM. We'll be back with game number 2 shortly. Right now, both teams setting up, trying to figure out what they're going to be doing coming into the series.
Yep, we're going to take a short little break, and when we come on back, game 2, grand finals, Curse versus TSM. If TSM wins the next one, they win the whole damn thing. We will be back in just a little bit. IPL face-off. We will be right back.